That's right, guys. It is Matthew with Fanboy JunKtion, or Mister J, whatever you want to call me. We've got a special guest today. It's going to be Demarcus, and we're going to get to him in a second. We've got some crazy stuff we're going to talk about, but let me start off by saying this. I have to apologize to the Green Lantern CGI show. It actually is a really good show. It's on Netflix. I've been watching it. It's a shame it got canceled. Much better than that Batman Beware or Beware Batman where he looked like, the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. Anyway, so he does. He looks like the dragon from How to Train Your Dragon. I keep wanting him to, some dude jump on his back and they start flying around.
It was like Toothless, yeah.
But yes, Green Lantern the CGI show actually was really good. I'm still enjoying it. I was really sad that I didn't watch it and support it when it was on. So anyway, what we're going to do today, like I said, special guest star is on Fanboy JunKtion today is Demarcus from GDX Customs or whatever other channels he's got. We're going to do is a little something different. Is he and I are going to both talk about a comic book character that we would like to see in a movie and kind of give our ideas on what we would cast it as. So, like, if it was something like mine was going to be Moon Knight, and I would say I would want, Moon Knight to be played by the guy from Burn Notice, whose name escapes me, Jeffrey Donovan, and Frenchie should be played by, Jean-Luc Picard, Patrick Stewart, or whatever. Like, that's what we're going to do, and then kind of give a brief synopsis of why we think it could work now and what the story should be. So I'm also going to do something different, is that I figured out how to download these movies so I can put pictures so that some of the stuff, if I'm talking or he's talking and we don't know what we're talking about here, it'll make a lot more sense because we'll have visuals instead of just looking at, us two crazy mofos just talking about nothing. So,
After the show, I gotta hurry up and find my pictures of mine.
All right, so as you can see, Demarcus is here. He's online. We're live. And what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and let him go first. So, Demarcus.
Got me going.
All right, Demarcus. So, your dream character, comic book character that has yet to be turned into a movie. Now, cartoons don't count. We're talking about an actual film with actors. And we're not going to do directors and all that kind of stuff. We're just going to say our cast and our storyline idea. So, Demarcus, take it from there.
All right. I wanted to avoid any Marvel characters because they're pretty much fair game. and with Marvel's plate being full, I think I read like to 2028, I think they said. They have plans. Almost anybody's going to be fair game because I was going to go with Black Panther, then I thought, damn, that is a really hard movie to pull off. It is. Well, I don't want to give them that excuse. You better make Black Panther, damn it. At any rate, I decided to go with something
concise.
More or less independent. Savage Dragon, man. Savage Dragon right here. I'm a big Savage Dragon fan. Why Savage Dragon? After Hellboy came out, I knew Savage Dragon was very doable as a movie. And I think especially after Guardians of the Galaxy hit, and we've seen the over the top action and Marvel's Hulk and Avengers and stuff. I think Savage Dragon will work really well, especially because it's pretty much it's a cop, it's a super-powered cop story, action. It's crazy, and I think it really would work. Now, trying to keep it concise as quick as possible. All right, my casting for Savage Dragon the movie. All right, well, my first choice for Savage Dragon would be, well, creator Eric Larson. He always had Bruce Willis in mind for Savage Dragon. Unfortunately, Bruce Willis is a little too old now. I don't think he could do it. So, like, with the and I was okay with that. I was okay with Bruce Willis being Dragon. But since he's a little too old now, I'm gonna go with the modern day Bruce Willis, in my opinion. Jason Statham.
Nice.
Yeah, I think he has the same kind of I hate to use the word swagger, but he embodies pretty much the same characteristics that Bruce Willis does, and he can really fight too. So that helps out a lot too. So I think Jason Statham is perfect Savage Dragon, but in this fantasy movie, if Jason Statham didn't answer the call or whatever, we had to get somebody else. Maybe he's making Expendables 4 or whatever.
85, whatever.
My second choice was nuts. At first, I was gonna go with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and then I just thought, no. After G.I. Joe, I mean, he's cool enough, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
Hercules may turn his career around. You just don't know.
That's the funny thing is, his career is not really in the toilet or anything. It's just it's like you get too many damn action movies, man. So no Rock this time around. But my second choice would be, oddly enough, John Cena. I know you like John Cena. The Marine wasn't that bad. 12 Rounds was a piece of crap, but the Marine wasn't that bad. I think John Cena can do it, and he definitely has the build for it.
Yeah, and I don't know a lot about Savage Dragon, but I mean, it's not like you need an Oscar-worthy actor to play a hard-nosed cop who looks like a dragon. I mean, right?
Yeah, and it is at the heart, it's going to be an actioner, over the top. And then a lot of these characters, I mean, I would feel like the practical effects, because I think that would be the only way to do it with prosthetics and everything. That just nuts for all those different characters, because they have like characters with screws in their heads, chicken men, they've got giants, they've got all kinds of weird characters. So it'd be nuts. Okay, the rest of the cast is supporting characters. His partner, Alex Wilde, I thought that Zoe Saldana would be a great Alex Wilde. She's attractive, and she can pull off a badass pretty well. I mean, Colombiana, whatever the name of that movie was, Tank, but she was pretty badass, I think. If I had a second choice for her, it'd probably be Michelle Rodriguez. She's kind of going on the complete opposite scale. I mean, Michelle Rodriguez is pretty fine, and she's definitely got the badass thing going on there.
So no white women, is that what you're saying?
Oh, you're going to put me on the spot. Well, see, if I talked about any of them. Yeah. No white women this time around. Sorry, people. We got to... There actually are a lot of white women in Savage Dragon. I just didn't cast them. So.
Good call. No white bread. No white bread. We already did that video.
She-Dragon, well, I think She-Dragon's white. But, so She-Dragon will be played by Deborah Ann Wall. I'm sure a lot of you don't even know who the hell She-Dragon is. Look it up on Google. She's a good fit. Rapture, this is, okay, now see, this is equally as messed up. She's the Dragon's first girlfriend, that prostitute with electrical powers, and she was a black woman. That's just kind of messed up now I think about it. I'm going to dip into the cast from True Blood again and go with Regina Wesley. She played Tara. Definitely has the attitude, definitely has the build for it. So yeah. And for the big villain, the big bad of Savage Dragon, I gotta go the armored dude, Overlord. That can just be a dude in a really badass suit, voiced by Peter Cullen, and you all know him as voice of Optimus Prime. He also did the voice of Carr, and that's what I'm going with. He did the voice of Carr, the evil kid from Knight Rider. He did it in the original '80 series, and he did the '98 series. And his version of Carr in the '98 series is really dark. He's really gruff, really just he was pretty intimidating. So that's my cat. So that's why I choose Peter Cullen. So
that's cool. And it's actually funny if you look at Peter Cullen's IMDb, he's characters that you didn't even realize. Like he's Optimus Prime and Ironhide, and then he's like he was, of course, Saber Rider. He was the ship. But there was a lot of random characters. He was, it was like I'm gonna have to IMDb it while you're talking. But it was like some weird, like, really, that was him? He's done a ton of different stuff. So yeah, I think he'd be awesome as a villain.
Yeah, he'd be pretty because he's probably voiced a few villains that like from GI Joe. Because I know in GI Joe kind of tripped me out when I watched the animated movie. Those voice actors did a lot of characters. Like you said, he did Ironhide, and then he was also the did the intro to Voltron from days of long ago. Yeah, so that's my cast for Savage Dragon. There you have it.
All right, so we got the cast. What would your story be? I mean,
Oh yeah,
cool. Got the cast. Like your idea. How do you think they should do the story?
I thought I could do the cast now good enough. Nah.
You want to go back and forth?
The cast.
There you go.
I mean,
right. I was looking it up. That's the random. Hold on a second. Hold on. That's the random character Peter Cullen voiced. He was Eeyore in Winnie the Pooh.
oh, he was Eeyore.
He was Eeyore in like the mid '80s, '90s Winnie the Pooh. That was Peter Cullen. So Optimus Prime also doesn't like anybody. I'm just a truck. Nobody wants to be led by me.
Superhero downers. But as far as the plot goes, first, I could definitely see it as a franchise because there's a lot of. I mean, Savage Dragon over the course of the series, the past 20 years. Damn, I'm old. But for the past 20 years, it's gone all over the place. But for the first movie, it would definitely be an origin story. Savage Dragon isn't something that you can hit the ground running. So it would definitely be that whole. It would probably be like the first 10 books. I know that's a lot to kind of condense into a 2-hour movie, but it would be an origin story. It would start off like with him in the burning field, just like it did in the cartoon and everything, and he's found, and he's an amnesiac. That's the big thing, I could go all into Savage Dragon, but read the book by Eric Larson, Savage Dragon. But I would do the first 10 episodes, because I think just seeing that mutant freak populated Chicago and him and his ultra-violent action, that would be good enough for a movie. And then ultimately, it's the story of him going against trying to keep all the superpowered freaks in line and hunting down the Overlord and trying to get enough evidence on the Overlord to take him down. And that's the first movie right there.
and the thing is, like you said, even thinking about it, like when we talked, because we talked a little bit before we did the show, is you brought up Hellboy, and it's like Hellboy was practical effects. The Abe Sapien, for the most part when he was interacting with people, was practical effects. So yeah, you get somebody do the practical effects with the fin, and I mean, green. I mean, come on. I don't remember if he was scaly or not, but I think that would definitely work, and give it that kind of blue collar feel like they had in those movies. I'd watch it. I'd go see it. Like I said, Savage Dragon is one of those books that I didn't read a lot of them. Maybe like 2 or 3 issues, and I think by the time it built momentum, I always meant to go back and read it, and I never did. I just need to find an omnibus and maybe catch up on it.
Well, I think the reason why you probably didn't read it is I've noticed, like, you're a huge fan. You were a huge fan of Wildstorm, right?
Yeah, I was a Jim Lee bitch.
So I think fans of like Wildstorm, they're kind of into a different kind of more like science kind of thing. Maybe that's probably why you didn't read it, because a lot of my friends who didn't read Savage Dragon were more into the Cyber Force and the Wildstorm type stuff. My big change, how Hellboy had to change the goat legs or whatever. My big change with Savage Dragon, I'm not sure if Eric Larson would be cool with it or not. Eric Larson, Savage Dragon, if you can see right here, has really disproportionate shoulders, and that's because he's not a really tall guy. He's 6 foot, I think, with the fin. The fin is like a third of that. But I would get rid of the shoulders because, man, that would just be a nightmare. And I think in a live-action movie, people might call BS on the ridiculously huge shoulders. So that's just like the Hellboy legs thing. That's probably what I would change with Savage Dragon. So make him look a little more realistic, a little more believable.
Gotcha. Well, and you can also do it like as long as he never has his shirt off. I mean, no offense, but Ron Perlman was not in that shape when they did the prosthetics for his body. So if he never took the shirt off and they just kind of gave him, like, with Chris Evans. Chris Evans is in great shape. It doesn't matter how big you are. You put a suit on, you don't look big. And that's why, like, with the Captain America, they always kind of round out his shoulders and they pad him up still to make him look even bigger. So I think they could probably do that with his cop uniform or whatever. I mean, not ridiculous like,
Yeah.
but I mean, something.
Yeah. And the only scene you really see is full body, and that doesn't need to be that long when he's naked in the burning field. And
Yeah.
I really don't have a desire for Savage Dragon's naked ass. So, all right, Savage Dragon by Eric Larson. That's my movie choice.
I like it. And I'm just going to throw it in there because the character that I liked from this series, and I think that was the only reason I ever read him later on, was I read The Super Patriot. And he was really cool and acrobatic. And since he has a mask and the dude is used to being his face covered all the time, I just cast Ray Park as Super Patriot. So
That's
he can flip around and do the guns thing and whatever.
Oh, that was caught me off guard. For some reason, when you said mask, I was like, Ray Park.
Nope, Ray Park. Just no face, no acting, just have him do his thing. Because I think the miniseries I read, I don't think he even talked throughout the whole series because I think he was brainwashed. So, I mean, whatever. Snake Eyes doesn't talk for like 3 movies or whatever. Like, he's used to it. All right, well, now I feel bad because I feel like I should have done an independent comic book. And I would have, if I thought about it, I would have done Invincible. But, oh well. My pick is my favorite character of all time, and it's crazy. I mean, it's kind of been in a movie, but not really.
Yeah.
And my character is Nightwing. And it's a DC character. For you guys who may not know, Dick Grayson is Nightwing, and Dick Grayson was Robin. And then as he grew up, he eventually kind of got fired from being Robin, and then created the Nightwing persona, and became Nightwing, kind of like a Batman type thing. He's a vigilante.
Mm-hmm.
I would use my thing is with Nightwing is it's kind of an odd thing because you can't cast him because he's supposed to be younger and shorter than Batman. So you got to cast somebody who's got a physical presence but isn't like huge. Like, you can't have Chris Hemsworth be Nightwing. So I would cast, I would actually have Zac Efron be Nightwing. I know a lot of people think he does nothing but romantic comedies, but I've seen a couple of his more dramatic roles, and he's actually a really good actor. He's proved he can put on the mask, and, pretty much anybody, you give him enough training, can be a martial arts badass. They can, you get stunt people, and let's face it, and I said this to you before, Ted is Neo. You said, Mr. Mom was Batman. Yes, the High School Musical kid can be Nightwing.
So fanboys, just an aside, if you don't mind me breaking in here, fanboys, stop obsessing so much over if an actor is skinny, if an actor is too fat or whatever. Race, that's a whole different can of worms. This is what actors do. This is their trade. This is their vocation. If they need to lose weight, they need to bulk up. If they need to take 6 months out of the year to train, like Cast the Matrix did, don't get hung up on that stuff because they can change their appearance.
Yeah. Well, heck, even that movie, it was called, oh man, Here Comes the Boom. And big old Kevin James, he's not like ripped, but I mean, he had lost weight and he had trained for almost a year. And if you watch that movie, you can see, like, he's got the round, like, he's built for that film. So, yeah, I mean, exactly. Anybody can be anybody. You give them enough time, they can train for it. So that's why, like, I would say Zac Efron. If for some reason he turned it down, my second choice, and I picked this guy with the idea that you might bring him in as Robin and have him build up to being Nightwing, and that would be Daniel Radcliffe. Yes, that's Harry Potter. Again, there's another actor I've seen in a couple different things. He's got some acting chops. He's a little short, but again, if you kind of get him be Robin at like a 15 and have him build up to be Nightwing, it'll probably work. It'd be really hard, but I think he could probably do it. But again, Zac Efron would be my first choice.
That's a second choice, yeah.
Yeah. And then my second character is Batgirl, or Barbara Gordon. This is the redhead. They kind of have a history together. she's a little bit older than him, but he's always kind of crushed on her. And then as they got older, they actually became an item. They got engaged. I don't know if they ever actually got married in the comics, especially with the New 52. They rebooted and changed everything. But at one point, they were close to kind of doing the deal, and then it just kind of... Anyway, I would cast Emma Watson. Now, granted, if Daniel Radcliffe ended up being Nightwing, may have to recast Barbara Batgirl, but my idea, Emma Watson, I think she's a terrific actress. You know, she's not... Because the thing with like characters like Nightwing and Batgirl is you've got to have that character... I mean, you know, think about the franchise. You've got to be able to do 3 movies. It usually takes about 7 years to do 3 movies. You've got to have actors who are going to look like they're in their 20s for the next 10 years or so. Yeah. Both these actors can do that and would do that. The other thing for me personally is inserting Nightwing into the DC Cinematic Universe would be easy because they're doing a more experienced Batman. You don't have to start the Nightwing franchise with him as Robin. You just do that 5-10 minute flashback thing where, you know, Nightwing is kind of goes through like, this is where I've come from, this is who I am. You bring Ben Affleck in to kind of do that montage of having him grow up, and now he's Nightwing. Then you just go on, like that's all you do. You just go on to the story and not worry about it. Is Emma Watson playing Batgirl or Oracle? That depends on whoever decides. I would say a combination. Even though she's Batgirl now, she still supplies information for everybody. So I think you kind of do either way, depending on what the producers decide, or the, you know, the more recognizable version of Barbara Gordon.
Yeah.
The storyline would be the Bloodhaven storyline, which is where Nightwing basically goes to Bloodhaven to kind of stop the big criminal, who eventually he finds out is Blockbuster. Blockbuster is this weird character who at one time was kind of like a Solomon Grundy. He was just real kind of dumb, big hulking dude. And then during one of the, I can't remember which crossover in DC it was, where all of the villains kind of got upgraded a certain way, and some of them became more deadly. Like I think Captain Cold became real vicious. With Blockbuster, what happened to him is he became hyper intelligent. So then he was able to actually become like a kingpin, a crime lord. But he has to be a big dude. Talking about big dudes, pretty good actors. He keeps missing the mark. He's almost in a superhero movie, then something happens and he's gone. But I would cast Jason Momoa as Blockbuster. You know, he looks good with long hair. He's got a good build. Again, I'm not whitewashing my thing. I don't know what his background is, but he's not white. I don't care. Blockbuster, whatever. I think he'd do it. He's, you know, got some good acting chops and everything like that.
Definitely get the Game of Thrones fans in there.
There you go.
They've been down for
I don't think he's still in the show. I think he's dead already, isn't he?
Yeah, he's gone. Spoilers. Yeah, he's dead.
It's not spoilers. The books have been out for a long time. If you're not literate and you didn't read it. By the way, Gwen Stacy dies. You know why? 'Cause she died 60 years ago. Shut up. Not a spoiler. Anyway, so the other character, there's 2 other characters I'd have to cast. Being that it's a Nightwing movie, you need a physical... Even though Blockbuster's kind of a big dude, he's also the head guy. You got to have that sub-boss character, and that would be Deathstroke. Deathstroke is really a big part of how Dick Grayson becomes Nightwing with the whole Judas contract storyline and everything like that. So I would say that Deathstroke needs to be in there. And the actor I would pick is Gabriel Mott. He is the lead, one of the leads in the show Suits. He's got like a chiseled look. To me, when I watch him in the show, it's like 2 more steps and he's the villain. Like he really, because he plays this lawyer, he's kind of not really swarmy, but definitely like no quarter given kind of guy. I think you amp it up a little bit more, make sure he's in the shape to do it. I think he'd make an excellent Deathstroke in the cinematic universe. Screw the show. Show's on TV. Obviously, they're never going to mix, so we can have our own Deathstroke in the movie. That's who I would pick as Gabriel Mott. And then Dudley Soames, or eventually Torque, is he's kind of like Gordon if Gordon was corrupt. And another character. I was telling Demarcus that what happens is when Nightwing kind of says, "Hey, I'm here to help you guys," and this guy arrests him and tries to kill him, and eventually lets him go, so causes all kinds of drama. But I would use Damian Lewis as Dudley Soames, and there was a TV show called Life. It was out a couple years ago, and he was really solid in that. He's a British actor, but he's also right now he's in Homeland is the show that he's in right now, and he's the redhead guy in that. I think he would make a really good Dudley Soames. Um, the story I would pick is basically him, Nightwing, first going to Bloodhaven and having to fight and face Blockbuster and try and stop him from being the head crime lord. I think the Dudley Soames character could kind of be the subplot cross, double cross guy. Deathstroke kind of gives you some more of the background. And I think that it would be a nice way to introduce the whole fact that Batman had sidekicks before, but maybe doesn't anymore. Maybe he was Robin, and then he becomes Nightwing. Who knows if Batman has any more Robins? Or maybe Nightwing, like he's like, right, you're dumb, don't ever do it. Anyway, point being, I think this would be a good comic or a good movie. He's a martial arts character, so you definitely can kick up the martial arts action. Something like a Raid Redemption, or maybe like a Blade 2, where the action is very martial arts heavy. Kind of have some of the detective work going because Nightwing is a detective just like Batman. And that would probably be my movie. If someone's like any comic book character, Nightwing would be it.
Now, I think, honestly, I think like Warner Brothers really does need to jump on Nightwing. I think, as far as their next franchise character goes, because Warner Brothers loves Batman. Some may even argue Batman is all they have now.
Yeah, Batman's like they're like, okay, we have some money. Batman again. Put Batman out there. Everybody loves Batman.
So and they had to inject the Batman into Man of Steel. So it's obvious that Batman would probably be their jumping off point. Like their shield. So I mean, put Nightwing in there. That's a good spin-off of Batman, so he's close to Batman. And I always thought that Nightwing, even in the comics, should become like the centerpiece of the DC universe, because in a lot of ways he's better than Batman. But yeah, I think he'd be I think a Nightwing movie would be pretty cool. Just like you said, like really heavy on the action. That'd be cool.
Well, and I think the thing with Nightwing that kind of comes into play, and this is my problem with a lot of the comic book movies as far as the constant reboot, is that Nightwing really is a character that you've got to get into the history.
Mm-hmm.
You've got to get into Batman actually getting a Robin. Then you've got to have him be Robin. Then he's got to either be fired or quit being Robin. And then he's got to become Nightwing. And I think that also is part of his downfall, like in something like the DC Universe, where he's been like 2 or 3 characters. He's been Robin, he's been Nightwing, he's been Batman twice. And I think that because you don't like Bruce Wayne as Batman, Clark Kent as Superman, Diana is Wonder Woman, when Dick Grayson has been so many different characters, the fickle and fly by your seat your pants reader is not going to associate the fact that this character Nightwing has been doing this for so long. They just see another vigilante character. And even some, like I said, even with like doing a movie, you again, I don't think you should put Robin in there with Batman, especially with Batman being already an older Batman. Just throw Nightwing out there. Do the 5-minute origin and just go with Nightwing. And just forget it. If you could do prequels, then maybe get into to Robin, but just go with Nightwing. And I think that's what it is. He's on the cusp. It's like every time there's been a crossover, Nightwing's been there. He led the Justice League for a while. He's always just kind of been on that edge. But it's that, I think that's, to me, that's probably what part of it is that he's been so many different characters, you can't attach to just one of them.
And hey, Warner Brothers, you can also say his inspiration for the name. You remember that stupid Nightwing and Flamebird thing with Superman? That was the dumbest thing. when they posed as Kryptonian heroes or something.
Yeah, well, because there was actually a story where when Batman fires him as Robin, and he goes and talks to Superman, and Superman tells him of a mythical vigilante from Krypton whose name was Nightwing.
Yeah.
And that's how he gets the name.
So you can have Henry Cable in there. I don't know. Go for it. I think you know the most obnoxious thing, because Nightwing is kind of a bit more obscure of a character. The most obnoxious thing is because all the mainstream knows about Nightwing would be that he was Robin on every freaking show, like Entertainment Tonight. Is that still on? And it would be like, Robin's a boy no longer. He's all grown up and he's Nightwing. Yeah, I would get tired of seeing that in the press constantly. But
those you fans of Robin, here he is all grown up as Nightwing.
Yeah,
Let's go watch the movie.
The whole all grown up angle would be annoying, but Nightwing would be really cool. Come to think of it, Zac Efron wouldn't be so bad as Invincible.
I was thinking about it with Invincible. I think I'd have to go with Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh.
Because the thing with Invincible is he's well, and I haven't read the past year of stuff, but he's kind of thin and scrawny. He's not a big dude.
No, he isn't. Yeah, he really isn't.
Because I think he's like in his 20s now, but he was a teenager when the thing started. So, because that's the thing too, is I think, and that's it's kind of that weird thing where when we cast movies, we think of like the current version of them. But you got to think, wait, we got to start from the beginning. And in the beginning of this series, he was only like 16 or 17 years old. So I don't know about Daniel Radcliffe. I'd have to really think about it. But it'd have to be like a really young guy. But Zac Efron, I mean, I think everybody thought I was going to talk about Iron Fist, but he's going to be on Netflix. But Zac Efron for Iron Fist 2, whatever.
That's the sad thing about it, man. Nightwing. I was hoping that the Heroes for Hire would make it the big screen. I don't know why I was thinking that, because that wasn't gonna happen. Yeah.
Well, they did come out and say that the Netflix universe is linked to the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, it had to be.
So there's a possibility Avengers 3 or Avengers 4. You'll see those guys in there, and that's my thing. Is I'm not saying you gotta have Iron Fist like teaming up with Captain America and they're hanging out, but if you have like the next time you have like that global attack, like when Thanos is in Avengers 3 and he attacks with all the Skrulls or whatever, you don't have to have like all of the other ones show up, but if you have that bit where the pan of all the Avengers doing it, and then you kind of pan and keep going, and there's Iron Fist and Power Man and Daredevil fighting these guys as well. I think it would kind of be cool.
That would work. That definitely will work. And the thing is, it's gonna get complicated as the years roll on. Between Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and stuff on Netflix, that's gonna get complicated really quick. But wow, I think we're at an hour.
No, we're at 30 minutes. Anyway, real quick before I cut it, I don't think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is going to be a factor. If it even makes it to season 2, it's definitely not going to make it to season 3.
Oh man, come on.
That's right. I went there. Yeah. All right. Marcus, sign off for me, my friend.
I have not done a sign off ever. Jeez, man. This was cool. So that was our 2 movies, Savage Dragon and Nightwing. I have to say, out of this, because I had a lot more characters cast for Savage Dragon, I have to say, fanboys talk a lot of crap about casting and stunt casting and all this stuff. Casting a movie is really difficult when you think about it. I mean, it really is, because I mean, it's easy to get characters that look just like the character. That's easy, but in the long run, they might, you get them in front of the camera, they might just crap it up as, they might not work as that character. And I got a lot of respect for casting directors after thinking about,
Oh yeah, and that's the thing too, is you really do like. Even when I first started thinking about this, all I did was go to Google and go actors and just start scrolling through, and it is like, and especially because a lot of studios want to go with a name or somebody who's bankable, something like Nightwing. It's easy for them to fall into somebody who's made them a lot of money. Even if the casting's a little off, they may go with Jason Statham.
John Cena.
Yeah. And that's like with Hellboy, that was the thing that no studio wanted to carry a movie that Hell was in the title, and two, nobody wanted to let Ron Perlman do it because he wasn't a bankable actor, and Del Toro stuck to his guns and made it happen, and that would be the thing with this is you'd have to really, just kind of make sure they know like, hey, this is going to be it.
I think after Guardians of the Galaxy, which is funny why Guardians of the Galaxy has become the new benchmark of weird, because I said that was Hellboy, but now it's Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think after Guardians of the Galaxy we might see a lot more weird, and I think they might start going out of the box for comic characters. So it's going to be a pretty exciting time, especially after Guardians of the Galaxy, especially after Avengers 2 with Ultron. I think it's going to be some really good, not your normal characters coming out. I think we're gonna see a lot of it.
You know what I think it is, and this is what. This is another show.
Yep. Or it'll be a special tour.
All right. So the next show, either with or without Demarcus, we're gonna talk about the comic book film genre in general, because I was about to go on like a 10-minute rant. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you guys want to yell at us for picking stupid actors to be in our movies, or you think these characters are worthless, comment below. If you want to talk some smack about my shirt, or talk smack about what Demarcus is wearing, comment below. Point is, just comment, engage.
I'm gonna need to argue, man. I'm looking rough.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching the show. Demarcus, thanks for being on. I'll put all the links and information for him on the bottom. And we will see you guys next time.
Later.